Well, hello again, garden friends. Welcome back for another episode of Field Tripping. And today I left my tripod at home, so this is a first-person one right here. But I want to show you kind of like the aftermath of our pruning. It's now, what is it, March 19th here in Northern California. And see, we got our red buds are in full-on bloom. You can see the Spanish lavender behind it is blooming as well. And what I really want to show you is just a quick little take on, you can see this is the Crape Myrtles, our Lagostromia. And so we did a couple videos on pruning them so you can see the shape that's already kind of starting to take form. And so I would recommend this is a good time now that you see some of those the leaf growth starting to come back on your canopies here. You might notice some branches that you didn't get, like, you know, a couple of outliers, or if you see a branch that's, you know, still just not quite doing it for you, or like for instance in here there's a branch that kind of heads back towards the center and is taking up a little bit of space, right, trying to push these ones out. So you can see that branch right there. I'm considering taking that one out to give that one more space and the left side more space, because what it is this is a multi-trunk tree, basically breaks into 3 main trunks, and so I want to make sure that each trunk has enough space to really do well. This one right here, because that branch heading back towards the center there, it's kind of pushing out this other one a little bit and kind of crowding it. So I'm considering getting that removed, but we'll see. You know, like I said, a lot of folks have a hard time when, you know, removing a big limb, but sometimes when you do, the results are definitely worth it, because of the plant will grow back healthier, a little more robust, and then the shape will be a little more ideal to what you're trying to do. So that's a recap on these. Like I said, when it comes to pruning your Crape Myrtles, if this is your first time thinking about it or whatever, it's best to do it in the dormant season, although you can prune it through the spring and summer as needed to shape. But your biggest cuts are usually done best in winter time, and so now we've made those. But like I said, if you see a branch that that should have been pruned, or a dead branch, especially sometimes you see branches that aren't sprouting, and then you kind of realize, okay, that thing's dead. So then that's a good time to remove that as well. And so I'm hoping hoping to see a lot of praying mantis out here in the garden, because as we know, they love to leave their oothecas on these. And so as we know, there was about a couple dozen just on these 3 alone. And so I'm really excited to see this grow. I just want to show you some of the regrowth here. Let me really quickly, I'll scooch over to our other bed here just to kind of show you. So this is another red bud as well, although I do believe this red bud is a different variety than the other 2 that we have, just because you can see these blossoms are a bit different. They're pink, whereas other ones are purple, or a little bit more purple, I guess. And so I'll have to see, one's eastern, one's western, you know, with forest pansy or Oklahoma redbud. I'll have to see which one's which. I forget off the top of my head, but I'm sure a lot of these viewers probably already can tell. So if you know what kind of redbud this is, go ahead and let me know. Look at that, that's a treehouse gourd. We had someone give us a bunch of gourds a while back. This is years ago. This thing has been out in this garden for probably about 5 or 6 years now, and still pretty hard. So I suggest that you grow some birdhouse gourds, because they're fun to mess with. But anywho, back to these, the Crape Myrtles. So you can see that the structure, right? The scaffolding of the branches, the shape is really important for these, because like I said, they're multi-trunks. So they're kind of like a specimen tree. Sometimes even the ones you see trained as a standard, you definitely want to prune those as well to shape. But you can see what kind of happened. So all that pruning, it cleared up the centers. All the low branches hitting the ground or going towards the ground are gone. The suckers, you can see, look, these are suckers coming back. Check this out. So you always kind of wonder. So these plants kind of like to grow as a shrub. And so sometimes those branches down there at the base, they get some sunshine and whatnot, and then the tree goes, hey, you know what, I want to be a big old bush. And so if you want those to create a new branch or to get it bushy, you can leave those. But if you really don't like that and you want to accentuate these beautiful trunks as they get older and they get that cool looking bark on there and they get a little more mature, that's when I recommend getting those out of the way and opening it up. And it's just better for the health of the plant as well, in my opinion, because then you get better airflow, light penetration, whatnot, and then that way you get less powdery mildew at the end of the season. All right, but that's really it. I just want to show you the structure of these, because it's really important to do some pruning on yours. And I think we did some decent pruning on ours, and now you can kind of see what's going on. And I said this is a really good time to get in there and take care of anything that you missed, because it's, I make mistakes, obviously. Probably made about 50 of them during this video, but definitely make them out in the garden. So it's just good to learn from those. And then if you make a mistake or if you missed something, you can always come back with a little bit of observation and a little bit of effort and rectify that. But not looking too bad. Like I said, you can see the lavender really good. Actually, no, this is one last thing I wanted to show you. So check this out. So this side of the bed, If you're hanging with me, I really appreciate it because this is actually some good knowledge. Look how beautiful these lavender are right here, how full they are. They're just full on blooming. So I have the same exact Spanish, hey, there's Bearsy. I have the same exact Spanish lavenders on this side, but the deal is they get a little bit of shade. As you can see, it's kind of already darker on this side. So they're not out in the full sun. At least part of them are. You see this one right here. Portion of it gets more sun than the other. Guess which one has more flowers? Yeah, the side that's getting way more sun is the one that's blooming first. And so these ones will all bloom out heavy. You can see they're coming. They're actually, you can see the buds all over it. But compared to their friends over there, those ones are already full on blooming. And so I believe, in my opinion, it's just because these ones get a bit more shaded. So they're, like you see, they're even leggier. If you have plants that are stretched out and taller than other plants or taller than you think they might be, oftentimes it's because they're stretching towards the light. They're not getting as much direct, intense light as they should be. And so they tend to stretch out. You'll see the space in between the nodes on branches get longer, and whoop, where each branchlet or each leaflet starts, they'll get further and further apart on a stretched out plant. Sometimes you see this if you try to grow like lettuce indoors. There's a lot of examples, and we'll come back to that topic. But there you go. So you can see the example right there. Those ones are in full sun, already blooming, exact same plant. Same age, same maturity. They just get less light, so they're just not quite blooming just yet. All right, well, there we go. Our recommendations: prune your garden, get ready for spring. It's going to be a good one. Spring is here. Let's do it, folks. Happy gardening and best wishes. Bye, Bear.